what's going on in Citrus Heights and perhaps give you some information that will help you sell within our community. Like everybody else, we've certainly been impacted by the downturn in the housing community. However, I think we have some positives going for us in Citrus Heights that makes it a very viable community. Michelle, how much time do I have?
You've got 20 minutes.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I forgot to ask. And I brought notes, and I'm at that point in my life where I can't read anything without reading glasses, even though I wear contacts, so I'll be doing this. I'll see what I can do with that first of all. Well, I'd like to talk about some of the positive that affect the residential market in Citrus Heights. First of all, our location. Over the years, as the Sacramento region has grown, the hub, if you will, of the transportation modes within the region and the travel patterns has shifted from downtown up to the northeast section, and Citrus Heights is, for good or for bad, in the center of that. We are very freeway accessible, as you know. We have major thoroughfares that run through Citrus Heights that makes transportation and travel a very important component of our community. Auburn Boulevard, the old Route 40, goes right through it, as does Greenback Lane, Antelope, and Madison for east-west travel. Of course, Sunrise is a main artery that goes away from Placer County down to Rancho Cordova. So there's a lot of travel opportunities. There's a lot of convenience as far as location and ease of getting to other places within the region. 97% of our city is built out. I used to think that was a terrible challenge. When I was first elected, I saw Rancho Cordova and Elk Grove and other areas of the county with all this land to build and attract big developer dollars. And here we were, land-bound, boundary-bound by communities and cities around us, and 97% built out, probably 96% built out 8 to 10 years ago. Over time, I've changed my opinion to believe that it's not so much a challenge as it is an asset. As we as a city know what our opportunities are, we know what our character is. We are clearly a middle-class community. We have very, very little upper-class property. We have more than our fair share of affordable housing, and that's all an opportunity, but also a challenge, as you all know. But I really believe that part of the success of Citrus Heights has been the fact that we recognize what we are. We choose to build on what we are and not try to become something we are not. You may know that Citrus Heights stands alone in the region as being a financially solid city. We have no debt in Citrus Heights. We pay cash for everything, and we continue to build a reserve and right now our reserve sits at about $36 million, which is more than our annual budget. And that, in and of itself, is an accomplishment, but it wouldn't be so great if we weren't all, at the same time, continuing to improve our infrastructure, make improvements to our neighborhoods in the way of repaving streets, lighting unlighted neighborhoods, and addressing the needs of our infrastructure and improving our main corridors. So that's a source of pride for us. We may even stand within a very small group of communities within the state. Our city manager was named Administrator of the Year last year, in large part because of how well he's managed our budget. We are also very proud of having a first-rate police department. Crime is low in Citrus Heights. It has gotten lower since we ended our contract with the Sheriff's Department in 2006 and formed our own police department. That was a big step for us. It was initially driven by the continuing escalating costs for providing policing. When we were under the Sheriff's contract, we actually had better services than we had before we incorporated in 1997. But the price tag kept getting bigger and bigger, and Sheriff Blanis at that time would tell us every year what it was going to cost us to provide law enforcement in the city. And we either had to take that number or we had to which we eventually did, cap the number and then realize that we would suffer reduced services as a result. So it was really an economically driven decision back in 2005 for us to vote to form our own police department. And it has proven to be far more than just economics for us. It's given us the opportunity to build a very unique department. All of our employees, including our law enforcement, our police officers who are unionized, are compensated on a merit basis. We have no COLA in Citrus Heights. So that drives our workforce to excellence, to find new and innovative ways to do their work. So we operate the city on the same principles that private business operates, where you don't get automatic raises. All your raises and your awards are based on merit. Very unusual in the public sector, and maybe we're all by ourselves. I don't know of any other city that does that, but there may be others. But our police department has brought crime way down. We're known for our traffic enforcement because that was a real issue for us 5 years ago. We had, I think, 18 deaths within 2 years due to traffic incidents. A lot of racing was going on, a lot of DUIs in Citrus Heights, just a lot of problems with traffic. So that became a focus along with crime reduction, and we have dramatically reduced deaths as a result of traffic incidences. We went for a period of time for about a year and a half with none. We've had, I think, one this year. Our biggest crime street is Sayonara Drive, famous throughout the area for all the wrong reasons. Our police department has reduced crime by about 60% on that street. They've done a very proactive program. There is a community center on Sayonara now that is funded in part by the city that provides after-school programs for the children on and around Sayonara. It's a faith-based organization whose secular arm is called City Life, and they provide after-school programs, nutrition, tutoring, homework assistance for over 100 kids that are on their roster from 1st through 8th grade. The program's exploded in the 6 or 7 years that the center's been in existence. But more than just servicing children, it's put them in the lives of the people on that street because they're there every day and they're not afraid. There's a very, very small staff of probably about 1.5 people, but over 40 volunteers. And so I'm a firm believer that their presence on Sayonara opened the door for the city to work with the homeowner or the property owners who, up to that point, were deaf to what we were trying to do there. One of the silver linings in the downturn in the economy is that we, as a city, have been able to buy foreclosed properties on Sayonara. And if you've driven down that street anytime recently, you'll find that those 15 buildings that we bought no longer exist. We tore them all down because they were so substandard that we actually had to move the few tenants that were still in the 2 other facilities because they were unfixable. So we are in the process of working on a long-range plan to put housing on that street. We want to have home ownership on Sayonara and de-densify the street, which is one of the major solutions to part of the problems that Sayonara has realized. The design of the buildings, the fourplexes and so forth on the street is dismal. The way they designed them back in the 50s and 60s lends itself to crime, lends itself to absentee landlordism. And so we are, as we buy properties, and we may buy more, if they become available, then our goal is to work with either Habitat for Humanity, Mercy Housing, or one of the other humanitarian organizations to help provide low-income housing, but very nice low-income housing for people that need that. We have 11 neighborhood associations in Citrus Heights.